Hi, this is Laura. Welcome to the Fitness Skinny. I'm going to take you through a magic circle prop class, intermediate level. Start on your back. Stretch your legs out by placing your magic circle on one ball of your foot, reaching that leg to the sky, finding your hammy stretch. Bend and straighten that knee, finding your optimal stretch every time you straighten that leg. Hold some breaths, maybe point and flex your foot. Transfer the circle to your left hand. Walk your right leg across the midline of your body. Feel your IT band stretch. Switch hands. Right arm has it, right hand has it. Walk your right leg away, finding your inner thigh, and switch sides. So your left foot will go into the magic circle. If you started on your right side, bend and straighten that knee a few times, finding your hammy, and then hold a straight leg, point and flex your foot, getting ankle flexion, feeling that calf stretch. Right arm will walk that leg across the midline of your body, feeling your IT band stretch. Left arm will walk that leg away, keeping your right hip grounded for that inner thigh stretch on that left side. Without further ado, we're going to jump right in. Going to the 100. I'm going to place the circle in between my hands. You can always modify and go in between ankles, pumping by squeezing that circle in between my palms, shoulders melting, long arms, elbows straight. I'm pumping with my chest, firing my pec muscles, inhaling for 5, exhaling for 5, keeping everything still through my spine, shooting my breath to the back of my ribs, keeping the front of my core very engaged and pulled in tight. Long neck, you can always relax your head down if you need to, or bend your knees, or transfer that circle in between your ankles. After 10, lower yourself down and go right into your roll-ups. You're going to inhale your upper body over your legs and then slowly roll down one vertebrae at a time. Inhale starts your roll-up. Exhale, reach for your toes. Inhale starts your roll down, leading with your low back. Exhale, your head is the last thing to hit the mat. Articulating one vertebrae at a time up, one vertebrae at a time down. Heels connected, toes turned out, inner thighs engaged. They're wrapping. You have energy reaching out your legs as you roll down. Energy reaching up and out through your head, through your arms, and through your toes in both directions. On your roll up. I just want to warn everybody, PETA decides to join me in this class and she's a real nuisance. I apologize ahead of time. I'm remembering now. On your 6th one, transfer that circle in between your ankles. You're going to go for a roll over. So you're taking your legs parallel to the mat behind you. Almost seeing if you can get your toes to touch down. It's not a requirement if that's not happening. Flex through your heels as much as you can. Feel your legs reaching back, almost like someone's pulling them on your heels as you articulate and roll your spine down. Take your legs to 45 degrees, push to the back of your arms, and do that again. Every set, can you find more length through your legs and articulate more through your spine. Transfer that circle to your hands. Can you go for one more little stretch? We're going to carry this right into single leg circles. I'm going to take my circle in between my hands, reaching it to the sky. So this will just make stability more challenging. You're gonna have to work your core harder to stabilize. Alternatively, you could circle with that circle if that was your preference. Turn your toes out. Either way, you're in that 45 degrees. You're gonna go 5 circles in one direction. Inhale starts your circle. Exhale finishes it. Keep your hips still and try to circle with your core. Swap directions, go 5 the other way. And then you're gonna switch sides. Stretch your left leg one more time. I'm doing that hamstring stretch, IT band stretch, and inner thigh. So we're repeating those stretches that we started with. And then reaching my leg to the sky, reaching my arms to the sky. Notice having your arms off the ground just challenges your stability more. 5 circles in one direction, 5 the other way. Try to stay externally rotated through your working leg. Heel in towards your midline, toes out to the side. You're gonna roll up to a seated position. Go right into rolling like a ball. Take your magic circle in front of you. See if you can barely have it slightly away from your legs. Can you keep the shape between your knees and chest and circle the same? As you roll back on your inhale, exhale, find balancing every set. Try to avoid having your feet touch down, so they're always hovering. Speak of the devil, there she is to cause some ruckus. Roll down. Hands are holding that circle right above your chest. You're gonna drive one knee in, drive your opposite leg away, add a breath with each movement. Think of this as a reach and pull. You're driving your knee to your chest and sending that long leg out as long and as straight and as low as you can achieve, keeping your neutral spine. 8 sets total. You're going to transfer that circle to your ankles. Inhale your arms and legs away. Exhale, just your arms circle. Catch your ankles. Can you lift your chest a little higher every set? We're going to go for 8 of each of these. Make sure you're breathing. Keep your ribs closed. Going in for some kissy face. Transfer that circle to your hands. You're gonna stretch that one leg. It's like a little pull, and then pull on your other side. So your pulse, 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 but really the pulse is more like a stretch. So how much of a hamstring stretch can you achieve in that working leg? Your bottom leg can pulse down in opposition. Try to keep your shoulders off your mat, neck long, core engaged. Keep everything still from your shoulders to your tail. After 8, transfer that circle to your ankles. You can leave your chest up. You can bring your hands behind your head to support your neck. Inhale, send your toes away, drawing a rainbow with your feet. Go as low as you can, stay neutral in your spine. Exhale, drive your legs back up. See if you can take momentum out of this. Use those low abs to pull your legs to the sky. On 8, you're going to do a version of crisscross. I'm going to take my circle onto my left side. My left arm is pushing into it. My right hand is behind my head. I'm going to twist and rotate my right elbow, armpit really, to my left knee and push down on that circle with my left arm. You're going to stay on this side and do 8. My right leg is just hovering off the mat. This is going to burn those obliques. Bring your legs up higher if you need to adjust, or bend both knees, or keep that chest down if you need to accommodate if you have any neck tension. Make sure you keep that left hand behind your head to support your neck, however. Can you think armpit knee? So don't limit your range of motion in your upper thoracic spine. Try to get a big twist, look over that right shoulder. Can you even look past that right shoulder? She really is trying to be helpful. Sometimes it's just more annoying. Roll up to a seated position. Spine stretch forward, so pushing that circle, one pad on the ground, pushing into that top pad. Can you start by pulling your waistline back, peel down, scoop those abs as you push. It's like you're trying to round around a sword, tucking those hips under. Don't push until you've got that contraction in your core. Hold 2, restack your spine. Take that circle in between your ankles. Can you extend your legs to the sky? Find open leg rocker. You could bend your knees if you needed to on this one. Grab lower if you needed to. Have the sensation that you're pulling your chest through your legs. Can you hit balancing every set? On that last one, can you balance? Walk down your legs, go right into a corkscrew circle. You're going to inhale to the right. Exhale finishes your circle. Go 1 right, 1 left. You're going to do 3 total on each side. Keep the small of your back still. Your hips might shift a little. Try to hit that perfect circle with your toes every time. Transfer that circle to your hands. Can you roll up for me? Seated position. You're going to do a version of saw. So holding onto that circle, can you take that circle on the outer edge of your left leg, push into that circle, spin your opposite arm, palm up. So as you push down with that right arm, your left arm spins to the sky. You're going to pulse twice, pulse, pulse. Lift up, try to articulate your spine down and articulate your spine up. Your hips stay perfectly still. You're reaching away from your left hip crease, reaching away from your right hip crease. I added that little extra pulse to get a little bit more of a stretch. Feel the sensation that your arms are being pulled away from each other. They're reaching in opposite directions. Length through your chest, length through those arms. Can you come onto your tummy? Set up for swan. I'm hoping the circle that you have at home is more pliable than mine is pretty stiff, making it a little bit more challenging. You push down on your circle, arms length away on your tummy. Can you keep your feet flat? Lengthen through your spine. The back of your neck elongates. Your head is being pulled along to lift, melting your shoulders, contracting your abs. Staying very long from your head to your tail. Only lift to feel that stretch in your core, no compression in your low back. Can you keep lifted on your last one? Kick in, right and then left. You can do point flex if you want, or just stay flexed. How lengthened can those legs be as they kick in towards your hips? Can you keep your hips still? Can you keep your core contracted? Could you even keep space between your core and mat so that's not changing? Maybe even your pelvis is slightly hovering just a tad, no more than an inch. Can you reach that circle behind you, flattening your palms to those pads, bending your elbows, taking the circle up the small of your back, looking to the left? You're going to kick in 3 times. Can you extend your arms, lift your chest, and reach those legs back, finding your feet onto the ground. Switch your glance, turning onto your left cheek 3 times. You're gonna rise. Switch your glance onto your right. Every time you lift, you're gonna switch your glance as you crawl down. How much length and extension can you reach your arms? I realize the circle makes this a little bit more challenging as far as alignment, but I think you're gonna find that it's a really helpful tool to give you that lift and length this exercise requires. Yes, PETA, I see you. I don't want kisses right now. Try a version of neck pull with the circle. So you're gonna create a little halo above your head. Keep your spine very long as you roll down about halfway, tucking your tail, rounding your back to roll down the rest of the way. Curl over, send your head in between your knees, do a double pulse, sit super tall, hinge back the straight spine, then round to roll down the rest of the way. Find the articulation in your spine that works for you today. Keep grounding and reaching length through your heels to prevent sliding. Keep energy in those legs. Can you get a big stretch at the top by pulsing your head towards your knees, scoping those abs as you curl towards your legs. How tall can you sit before you hinge back? Find that neutral spine. I think I literally pulse into PETA here. Yup. She doesn't seem to be fazed by the fact that we bonked heads. Neck pull is sometimes easier on some days than others. If it's just not working for you, try bending your knees. You can always add weight. The further those arms reach away from your body, the easier it is. You might have to extend those arms forward to be able to get up. Don't feel you have to stay in position if it's not working for you today. Take your circle. Can you bring it in between your knees? Find a bridge. You're gonna roll up, roll down. Picture a thigh master, right? The pads of the circle are in between your legs, just above your knees. In a second, you're gonna add a squeeze. You're gonna roll up, squeeze on that circle. Keep the squeeze as you roll down. Once your hips hit, you're gonna release your squeeze at the bottom. So we're gonna do 5 of those. So you're rolling up, squeezing, curling down, releasing. And then you're gonna reverse the direction. So you're gonna actually squeeze as you roll up, release the squeeze at the top, roll your spine down. So you're gonna squeeze first, roll up, squeezed, release, and curl down. 5 of those. After your 10th one, can you lift up, hold your bridge, and just squeeze in on that circle, keeping those hips level. You're gonna go 10 big inner thigh squeezes, trying to draw those inner thighs towards each other. You're rolling down, grabbing your circle, giving me a roll up. Going right into spine twist. And I found that I think I liked my circle closer to my chest on this one because it was easier to keep my circle centered with my sternum. but you could try both versions. Flex your feet, ground through your heels. You're gonna see if you can keep your hips still. Your second little pulse is more of a twist through your spine. You're trying to wring out your spine like you wring out a sponge. So can you get a little bit more twist and range of motion with that second pulse? Again, place that circle in between your ankles. Go for jackknife. You're gonna roll over so your legs are parallel to the ground, mat behind you. This time, can you squeeze your glutes, rise your toes to the sky, draw a rainbow with your feet as you roll your spine down. Your goal is to keep reaching those legs out and away from your midline as you curl, trying to avoid having your feet come back over your hips. Have the sensation that they're moving away from you the whole time. Use the back of your arms for support. Your triceps are engaged. Make sure you're adding that breath. Inhale over. Exhale, reach and lift as you curl your spine down. And take that circle. Can you roll your spine up to a seated position? Laying on your side, take that circle in between your legs. I like it right above my ankle bone. Legs are about 45 degrees in front of you. Can you bring your top hand behind your head? That's a more advanced version. You could bring it to your hip or bring it in front of you. Keep your bottom waistline lifted. You're gonna push into your top leg. Squeeze that circle towards your bottom, hold 1, 2, and then lift. You're gonna find 10 of these, staying still through your midline and an engaged bottom waistline. It's not collapsing. On 10, you're gonna hold that oval shape, pulse down for 20, I believe, or maybe just 10. That felt more like 10. Come down onto your lengthened arm. Bring your top hand in front of you just slightly for support. Can you lengthen and lift both legs, clearing off the mat? Think of this as obliques, but you're still gonna be working those inner thighs. Can you hold 8 and pulse that circle with your legs hovering off the mat? Go for 8. You're gonna do a fancy transition. Can you roll that roller forward, brace it against the ground, take your bottom leg underneath to secure that bottom pad. Top leg goes inside the circle as well. Now you're gonna push up with that top leg, finding your outer thigh, hold 1, 2, release. And the release is really small. Notice my top leg really isn't leaving the circle. It's just releasing that squeeze, so it's not that my muscle isn't tight. On 10, hold, pulse up, up, up for 10. Grabbing your circle, stack your knees, come into a mermaid stretch. You're gonna go towards that circle. If your legs are to the right, you're bending to the left, pushing into that circle with your left arm. Or maybe you're mirroring me, maybe you're on your right side. We're gonna get both sides, so don't worry if you're mirroring me. And then we're gonna switch sides. You're gonna come onto your other side, set your circle up in between your legs, right above your ankles. Go for 10 big inner thigh squeezes. Top hand behind your head if you can. Setup is important here. Hips are stacked. Adjust that circle accordingly. Have length in those legs. Have length in your spine. Make sure your bottom waistline is lifted. It's not collapsing towards your mat. Try to be as long through your spine as you can. Alternatively, you can come down on that supporting arm if you didn't want to be up on your elbow, if that wasn't feeling good. When you're done with 10, can you hold that squeeze consistent and just pulse down, down, down. Go 10 little pulses. You're going to then lower down onto your arm. Find lengthen both legs. Your top hand can rest on the ground this time. Try not to use it too much and put a lot of weight pushing down as you lift your legs. It's going to be there to support you a little bit, but try not to rely too much on that supporting hand. On 8, can you keep your legs hovering? Give me that pulse in the air. Can you do your fancy transition so your feet are inside the circle? Bottom leg secures that pad. Now your top leg is going to push up and hold. So you're finding that outer thigh. Maybe bringing your top hand behind your head, more advanced version, less stability. Can you hold 10 and pulse up, up, up for 10? Go for that same mermaid stretch on your opposite side. Magic circle reaching to the side furthest away from your bent knees. You're reaching up and over, away from your legs, finding length through your side body, pushing down on that circle, finding more of a stretch every set. Grab onto that circle. You're going to come on to your tummies. You bring your circle in between your ankles. Setup is a little bit complicated on this one. And taking that circle in between your ankles, feet are relaxed. You're gonna see if you can just lift your feet straight up, like if you had paint on the bottom of them and you were trying to make that perfect little footprint of paint on your ceiling. Then can you hold 10 and just pulse up for 10? Can you hold your knees hovering? Lower those legs towards the ground and then pull your heels in. So a lot going on this one. You're going to see if you can keep a little space between your knees and mat. As you lower your heels, lift your heels. You're going to go for those little pulses up, up, up again, trying to keep those knees hovering. You've got to squeeze on that circle, consistent squeeze. Round your spine, sit back towards your heels, find a child pose stretch. Scoop up your circle. Getting yourself situated on your mat, you're going to go right into teasers, extending one leg. Your opposite leg is bent, heel driving into the ground for support. You're going to roll up to touch your toes. You're going to do 3 of each. Try not to use a lot of momentum. You're rolling up with your core, 1 vertebrae at a time, reaching for those toes, and then rounding down. And then switching. I'll do 3 on the other side. Try to keep your sternum melting, or lifted shoulders melting is what I meant to say. Little apple under your chin. On that third one, can you extend both legs? 45, roll up to touch your toes. Roll down, leading with your low back. Teaser 2, I sometimes feel like teaser 2 is harder than teaser 3. And then right into teaser 3, where you're lifting your chest and your legs at the same time, rolling up to touch your toes. Can you keep those arms reaching high as you roll your spine down? The closer your biceps are towards your ears, the harder it is. So you're loading more weight. Can you go 1 more here? done, everybody. You're gonna take your circle, roll up, reaching for your toes. And you take your circle in between your ankles. Support yourself with your hands. You're gonna lift your chest. Can you come up with those legs and draw a circle for me? You're gonna go one to the right, one to the left. Can you keep your upper body lifted, chest puffed up, shoulders melting, elbows relatively straight? You're gonna go 3 in each direction. Use your abs to circle those legs around. Find yourself on your tummy one more time for a little swimming variation. I'm gonna have my circle in between my hands. Lift your legs, lift your arms, lift your head up out of water. Can you paddle, paddle, paddle those legs, or I should say kick, kick, kick those legs for 20. After 20, lower yourself down. Give me one more set. Arms and legs, head lifts. Keep everything still through those hips. Give me lots of energy in those legs. They're continually lengthening as they reach away from you as you kick, 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 kick. Push yourself back, child pose. Last little stretch here. Sit facing me. Your circle can be on your left-hand side if you're mirroring me. Try to keep even weight in your hips as you push down on that left hand. Really, it would be your right hand if you're mirroring me. Hold 2, release. Again, try to lengthen through your side body. Don't shift in your hips. Stay elongated as you push down. Find your core. Find your lat muscle. On these magic circle arm exercises, it's very apparent when you compensate here or shift. You're going to be able to feel that happening. So try to avoid that. You're going to switch sides. Your magic circle is arm's length away from that working arm. Try to ground through your hips. Keep them squared. Elongate right before you press down. Stay long through your side body. Hold 2, release. You're going to go for 10 of each. Try to keep your shoulders level. Core activated every set. On 10, reach your arms in front of you. Slight bend to your elbow. Think chest press. You're going to do 10 chest presses. Engaging your pec muscles. Holding for 2, releasing. How tall can you sit from your head to your tail? Raise those arms above your head. Feel like that circle is kind of like a halo above you. Squeeze in, activating the bottom tip of your shoulder blades. Notice my elbows are bent, shoulders away from my ears. Stay long. Come to standing. Bring that circle behind you, palms facing each other. Elbows slightly bent. I should have turned around so you could see. I'm squeezing. It's not a lot of movement in the circle, maybe 1-2 inches. Activating the bottom tips of those shoulder blades. Transfer that circle in between your legs. You're going to stand on one leg, push in towards that supporting leg with your other working leg. Your supporting leg is going to be soft, your knee is slightly bent. Can you shift that circle behind you? Might have to reach down to adjust. Stand super tall now. Squeeze and activate those inner thighs like you're trying to scissor those inner thighs towards each other to squeeze in on that circle. Back leg squeezing in towards your front supporting leg. I'm going to be fancy and try to move that circle. Nope, didn't work. You're going to try to move that circle now in front of you so that circle pad rests below your shin, just above your ankle. As now you're squeezing in with your front leg, pushing towards your back leg, getting tall right before you activate, and then just transfer over to your other leg. hopefully. In theory, you might have to adjust your circle. Now you're gonna work that other side. Think inner thigh. You're standing super tall, core activated, maybe hands on hips. You're squeezing in towards that supporting leg, doing 10 of each. On 10, you're gonna try to transfer that circle behind you. It's a lot of balance here. That circle pad, those circle pads might slip a little and might have to adjust. How tall can you stand? Remember, your supporting knee is slightly bent, so it's not locked. And then last but not least, that circle tries bring it around and front. Challenge just getting the circle in place. Now you're squeezing in with your front leg towards your back leg, elongating, feeling that sense of getting longer every set. Core super tight here. On 10, grab that circle. Raise your arms to the sky. Give me a few roll downs here. Knees soft. Shoulders melting at the bottom. Just let all your tension go in your head and your neck and your shoulders. Breathe with me. You're inhaling over. Exhale, activate your core to roll up bone by bone. And that was your circle class. Thanks for joining.